Tell me, who is the best footballer of all time? The answer to this question will come to your head first, but you cannot avoid Maradona. According to most experts, the first two names are found and Maradona. Now if the question is asked whose position after these two, there will also be differences. According to some, Cruyff, according to some, De Stefano, some according to Beckenbauer, some even put George Best again. However, according to most of those who watched football at the beginning of the 20th century, Zinedine Zidane is the third best player in the football world. In my opinion, a player should wait at least 5 years and then take into consideration who is in the list of Sarah. During these 3 years, the emotion that surrounds that particular player has become very slow. Then the trial is somewhat perfect. Considering Sarah, there may be disagreements over how many numbers Zidane will be. However, it is expected that Zidane is one of the greatest of all time. But today's article is meant to give some idea about why he is one of the greatest of all time. Like many other great players, Zidane was born into a poor Algerian family. An interview by Zidane revealed that his father was a night watchman at a department store. Most of the time he had to stay out of the house at night. His mother, on the other hand, was a housewife. Zidane was born in Marseille, France, as the youngest child in this family. He was the 5th child in the family. At just 5 years old, Zidane started playing football at a housing complex with his neighbors' children. Zidane's football career began at the U.S. St. Henry Club's junior team at the age of 10. It is a local club in La Castellane in Marseille district. After a year and a half here, Zidane participated in the league championship qualification. This is where the main chapter of his club career football begins. Zidane was also a citizen of France and Algeria. At first he was supposed to play for the Algerian national team. But Zidane is against the team. Then Algerian coach Abdel Hamid Karmali, known as the father of the Algerian football team. The reason for not taking it said that Zidane is not enough speed. Karmali's words were not wrong at all. He really was not as fast as we understood as speed. There was a shortage in many other ways. But one of the features of the champions is that they overcome their shortages in the other direction. Zidane, like the champion, was able to overcome all the deficiencies in his career. For the national team, Zidane got the first international opportunity to field in the jersey of France on August 7. When France came into the field in a friendly match against the Czech Republic, France was trailing 2 goals. Zidane scored 2 goals in the field and in the end the match was drawn 2-2. Zidane's contribution to the international arena should not be evaluated by players like Zidane only with the statistics of the goal assist. Look at Zidane's position. From this position someone scores in Calavadra. Even if someone scores less than 5 goals after playing 5 matches from this position, people will not be skeptical of his superiority. Gigiu's job is not to score, just control. But after that control, the goal was created. He did everything from the ball, and he scored the goal. Zidane played for France in Euro 1, 2020 and World Cup 1, 212 and 20. He scored 5 goals for France in this tournament. Only one, Thierry Henry, 5, scored more goals for France than Zidane. Zidane, however, is ahead of his position than Henry. Zidane's 3 goals were scored on the knockout stage. Henry, on the other hand, had only 2 knockout stage out of 5 goals. Zidane's contribution is unique to France, despite his personal achievement. Before Zidane came, France was known as a media team. With the exception of some glimpses of Fantine at the World Cup, no such star came to France except Platini. After the Zidane era, France is now considered the first-row favorites in any tournament. Zidane is considered an era in the French squad. After Platini left, France could not qualify for the World Cup in 3 and 5. Champion in the World Cup. Zidane France was dropped from the first round in the 2002 World Cup. He made it to France in the World Cup selection phase. In the World Cup, Zidane France was dropped from the first round of the World Cup. As a player, Zidane is at the forefront of all time for exactly what qualifications? He has received the FIFA Year Award 3 times in his career. But I personally don't think of the year a reward too big. The lack of sufficiently qualified competitors in any one competition can often reward someone. But at the time of Zidane, there were more class players than the present. At that time, look at the star players of the other team. Italy and Brazil are tough opponents for Zidane in the World Cup. I noticed the names of the star players in the Italian squad. Maldini, Nesta, Cannavaro, Albertini, Bezio, Del Piero and Vieira. I noticed the Brazilian squad. Tafarel, Cafu, Carlos, Dunga, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Bebeto, Danielson and Emerson. Zidane's tough opponents in the World Cup were Spain, Brazil, Portugal and Italy. Let's look at the names of some of their squad players. In Spain, Cassius, Poole, Raul, Javi and Torres were in the field. In Brazil, Cafu, Emerson, Carlos, Lucio, Adriano, Kaká, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho and Robinho. In England there were Neville, Gerrard, Ferdinand, Terry, Beckham, Lampard, Rooney, Wayne, Cole and Campbell. Portugal were Figo, Deco, Rui Costa, Gomez, Pastiga, Paulata and young Cristiano Ronaldo. In Italy there were Buffon, Cannavaro, Del Piero, Gattuso, Totti, Toni, Pirlo and Nesta. France's tough opponents in the Euros were the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Italy. I dropped the check of Nedved. The Netherlands squad had Van der Sar, Seedorf, Davids, Kluivert, Bergkamp, Overmars and De Boer. Guardiola, Hierro and Raul were in the Spain squad. The Portugal squad consisted of Figo, Rui Costa, Gomez, Pastiga and Paulata. The Italian squad consisted of Maldini, Cannavaro, Del Piero, Nesta and Totti. The club performance is respectable for each of the players I mentioned above. It is certainly something special to reach a level separately with your national team. Zidane lacked much of the qualities a player needs to have in order to be the best in football. As I said earlier, the head was weak due to physical structure. However, the extraordinary was on weak foot ability. D also scored numerous goals on the left leg from outside the box. In addition, dribbling will also be on the short list of the best ever. However, Zidane went ahead with understanding the style of the game and the performance of the big match. His nerve was very strong. Under no circumstances did he leave. He was a perfect leader. Zidane manager Zidane as coach has also been a success from the beginning. Many may think that being a coach of a big team like Real Madrid would be easy. It is not easy to understand the record of the previous season. It is not easy to understand. Madrid were frosting during Benitez's time with almost the same 11. It is not a word of mouth to make that team outstanding success. As a coach, many have just started comparing him to Cruyff. In fact, Zidane has not yet done or needs to do what Cruyff did, despite his success. He did not bring any new style like coaching Guardiola. It's not yet time to compare Cruyff as a coach. But for a coach, football is the first to be important. It would be foolish to say that the rest will not come, as it has come up. It is wise to wait to see what happens without fooling. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe.